Hi, welcome to today's Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant and I'm your host. And on today's broadcast, I want to speak to you about the topic that I've taken from a term that's in popular culture, used a lot of times among young people and maybe 30 or 40 somethings, but it's a very popular term that is thrown around a lot today. And so my topic today is called the grind of greatness. You hear a lot of people say, I'm on my grind. I've got to go get on my grind. And that term usually denotes or reference to I got to go to work. I've got to go do this task, this responsibility that is the basis of my income. And there's nothing wrong with any kind of terminology except for when we understand the relationship between terms and emotions, between terms and energy, between terms and the visualization that they actually create in our minds. Because if we're going to be successful in life, one of the things that we've got to do is this. To change our life, we have to change our language. And one of the things I noticed, and you may just pay attention to this, I've never heard a wealthy or a highly successful person say, I'm on my grind. Now, I don't say that to indict people. I listen to rap music like a lot of you do, and I appreciate the verbal and the rhetorical tenacity and ingenuity and innovation and all the dexterity and all the tricks they can do with language. So I really appreciate that verbal and that intellectual skill. But I also understand the relationship between language and life, our visions and our emotions and our outcomes. And a lot of times when we say grind, for me, that word denotes drudgery. I've got to go and do something for 5 to 6 to 8 to 12 hours that is not my choosing, but it is the basis of sustaining my living. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you listen to successful people talk, great people talk, they're very explicit and specific. They're very deliberate and intentional about the terms that they use to describe their realities, even if those are future realities called visions or their present realities called circumstances. So I want to encourage you today. We all have to work. We all have to make a living and earn an income and generate some type of substance to sustain our living. But watch how you refer, how you label, how you denominate, and how you denote the activity that you're engaged in. Are you on your grind? Are you engaging in the plentiful and the pleasurable pursuit of greatness? I write 12 to 13 hours a day sometimes, and I never say it's a grind. It's a labor of love. It's a privilege to work in the fields of the metaphysical to bring into the tangible dimension thoughts and ideas that had people like myself and like you and other people have not been diligent and determined. Those creations, those ideas, those stories would never be told. And so I do understand the intention behind the term grind. But if we're going to be successful, we have to watch what successful people do. We learn by emulation and by imitation, by repetition and by confrontation. Are you willing to confront how you describe your reality? I know the rappers say, well, I'm on my grind, and that's a popular term, and we know that it takes work and determination. But see, when you say grind, and without a right understanding, it almost subconsciously dulls the imagination, because the imagination responds to language. Notice how when you have a happy or a pleasant thought, notice how your body, your mind, everything about you, your members, your body parts get stimulated and motivated and have this warm, pleasant feeling. But what does the term grind, what emotions does the term grind generate in your being? Think about it. I'm not here to indict anybody. I understand that there's a certain amount of drive and dedication and intensity, but success is not strictly a matter of work ethic or work effort. Without the aid of the imagination, we'll spend years toiling and spinning, and we never will spawn the spice of greatness because we didn't change our language. So I want to encourage you today. Pay attention to your language. You want to change your life? Change your language. Change how you refer to and describe your circumstances. Now, if you're a rapper, hey, stay on your grind. If you are a rap critic or any of those kind of people associated with that field, and that's the terminology of your field, learn your terminology. Be fluent and fluid in that field. in that diction and in that conversation. But you'll never hear Bill Gates. You'll never hear Michael Jordan. You'll never hear any of those people say, I'm on my grind. And now, believe me, I understand language is rooted in class and social structure. We can get into all that, and I don't want to debate that. Okay, so I have an understanding of those kinds of concepts and the etymology or the origin of terms and how they emerge and how they put themselves in a social stream for us to be able to pick up and partake of. But if you want to know what it takes to be great, listen to those who achieve greatness. I never have heard somebody who's leading anything on a major scale, even in sidebar conversations, say, I'm on my grind. And when they do make those kind of references, they say it in a joking way to sort of refer to that way of speaking that is popular among those who are aspiring to greatness, but who don't understand at a visceral level the relationship between language and imagination, language and life, and language and outcomes. I just want to encourage you today. This is actually going to be my last broadcast and my last time on social media in terms of Facebook for a while. I'm going to spend time developing myself away from this platform. And that's what life is really about. Is having the courage and the will to know what you need to do in order to facilitate and deepen your life without the display of these medias that allow us to relate and to relax and to sort of convey to other people where we are. So I want to leave you with this. Don't ever give up on your dream. I'll say this as I end. Think about religion. Islam, Christianity, other religions. They all have this element in their religion where they have this sacred period where they sacrifice something beneficial to show their allegiance to the religion. And they give up something to show their devotion and their adherence to that religion. I want to end by saying this to you. Why don't you sacrifice? Why don't I sacrifice? Why don't we sacrifice? Let's give up on giving up. Those of us who give up, who quit easily, who start early but quit easily, and we continue to start over, let's have our own personal Lent. Or Ramadan, I believe, in Islam. Let us give up on giving up. And let us give up any kind of language, any kind of reference, any kind of image that does not inspire and support and sustain our pursuit of greatness. And if we do that, we not only increase our chances of achieving greatness, but we impart joy in each step of the journey. So until next time, this has been the Voice of Greatness broadcast. My name is Joel Bryant. And until next time, have a greatness week, because you can.